What is going on, guys? Twitchy Tango here, and I decided to redo this video, and yeah, because of this. As you can see, the gameplay reveal happened, and I figured I'd incorporate some of the new gameplay footage in this video. But without further ado, let's discuss it. Sometimes in games and other media, it's this show, movie, game is only as good as the villains that are in it. And Resident Evil 4's villains are they're one minute and gone the next. Certain characters like Ramon Salazar really show themselves a lot. Then you got characters like Krauser that are just sort of there and gone in the next, and people like the Big Cheese that are just there one minute and gone the next. So in this video, I kind of want to talk about these antagonists that are there one minute and gone the next, and ways of improving the other antagonists of the game. So without further ado, let's jump into it.
The Big Cheese.
But Torres Mendez, otherwise known as the
Big Cheese.
But Torres Mendez is the first major boss we deal with and encounter in the game. And he's the wall we have to get over to get to the next castle. The
Big Cheese
is, he's a character that's kind of just there one minute and gone the next. We only encounter him 4 times in the entirety of the game. And honestly, compared to like Sadler, even Krauser, and Ramon Salazar, I feel like his impact on the story is kind of hit or miss. A lot of people's fear is that he's going to turn out to be like a stalker enemy. I had this theory that each section is going to have some sort of stalker enemy we have to navigate and get away from. And that's kind of a lot of people's fears, but I don't think that's going to be the case, especially with the words from the director, that it's roughly still going to be the same amount of time. I do think, judging from this footage that we see of the Big Cheese, is that we're going to meet him differently than we did originally in the game. I don't think how we're going to find Luis is going to be as comical and silly as finding him in a cabinet. It's going to feel probably more grounded and real, even though I love finding Luis, and he echoes those words a little rough, don't you think? But yeah, the whole thing is like, I'm kind of hoping for more out of him. I want to see him more than 4 times. I would love to see him like, pushing the villagers to go after us. I'd like to see his presence felt, as he is the village chief. He's over the villagers. He's over the villagers, and Salazar is over him and the villagers. So I'd like to feel like his impact is a lot more massive in the game. I want to see him more than 4 times. I would like to see him scattered throughout the game. I think we can all agree that's not necessarily going to be a bad thing. Especially in the first trailer, Blink and You Miss It, it looks like he has the key that we get to unlock that door in the main hub of the village that's got the Los Illuminados symbol on it. So honestly, I'd be all for seeing more of the Big Cheese and see him have a more lasting impact on the game than he did originally. And I think we can all agree. Many people's concerns, like I said, is that he's going to be some stalker enemy. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think how we meet him is it's obviously going to be different just by looking at this still image right here. I do think he's going to be seen more, and at least that's my hope. But generally, I want to hear what you guys think of the
Big Cheese.
I'd generally like to hear what you guys think. What do you want to see more of with the Big Cheese? Do you want him to pretty much keep the same story beats that you had in the original? Do you want to see him have more of a presence in the game? Let me know down below, and we'll hop into the next one. Resident Evil's very own Short King, Ramon Salazar.
If you don't need me, then get off my back, old man!
Did you say old man, Mr. Kennedy? It might come as a surprise, but I'm only 20 years old.
I just absolutely love Ramon Salazar. I think we can all agree he's great. But with Remake 4, he really does truly look like an old man. And what many have, I guess, come to realize is that he has a disease, a very rare disease called, I think it's called Warner Progeria syndrome. And looking at this side by side comparison of his original RE4 look and his remake look, it kind of fits. You know, he, as he said himself,
I'm only 20 years old.
as he said himself, he's only 20 years old. Insight to what that disease does, it does two things. It stunts your growth, essentially keeps you the appearance of a small child, and rapidly ages you, very aggressively, I might add. Some cases it's been known for the person with this disease to live to, a ripe young age of 13. For us, we'd be in our teens, but for this person, they could be 40 or 50, and the body aging aggressively like that is just not good for you. But Ramon Salazar, judging from his appearance, he was 20, thus having the appearance of an old man. Yeah, he's losing his silly little hat, but he looks very good in the remake. But insight to Ramon Salazar, he was manipulated essentially into taking the gift that Osmond Sadler gave him. But he went along with it, so he's not really, you can't really feel bad for someone. But, he was probably on his last life, found out that his ancestors had dealings with this cult. Maybe Osmond Sadler reached out to him to try and test the waters of the Plaga and gave him the most gracious gift of a longer life. And of course, Ramon Salazar having a new lease on life, having no longer dying a horrible death, was like, I probably thought, I want to share this great gift that the great Osmond Sadler gave me with my people. And he did. And the people, the villagers, lost their humanity. Beggy, I believe her name, of Residents of Evil, covers the companion novel to Resident Evil 4 that's set before the events of 4. And I'm going to link that video down below. It kind of gives insight to the villagers about what happened leading up to the events of 4. You see, the Plaga took away everything from them. Plaga cannot latch itself onto a child host. So it killed the children, and that destroyed the villagers, plunging them even more into despair and allowing the Plaga to truly consume them. And that's how we find these villagers in Resident Evil 4. Their humanity gone, obeying the words of Sadler, the Big Cheese, Salazar, and attacking anyone that comes to their village. You see, if there's one thing I want out of Remake 4 for Salazar is, keep the silliness that we love about him from Resident Evil 4, but really lay into truly how vile and evil he is. Because of him, the villagers lost their children, lost their humanity. He by no means is a good person. We tend to laugh at him a lot because, it's fun to laugh at Ramon Salazar. He's funny. He says a lot of things. The way he talks to Kennedy, it's just hilarious. But if there's one thing I want out of Remake 4 is to truly lay into how sinister and evil and vile he is. Keep the silliness of him, but really, really lay into that, Really lay into how funny he is, but also really lay into just how much of a monster he is. But honestly, I'd be interested to hear what you guys think about Ramon Salazar. What do you guys want to see out of our short king? Let me know down below, and we'll hop into the next one. Our very own Comrade Krauser. Jack Krauser is his name. Well, let's talk about that one and done villain.
Leave Ashley out of this!
Oh, I needed her to buy Sadler's trust in me. Like you, I'm American.
So, Krauser is just one of those characters that is there 1 minute and gone the next. Kind of like the Big Cheese. We have him for a few moments. We do that quick QT bullshit. But thank God, QTs are apparently not in the game. Thank the good Lord in heaven, we don't have QTEs anymore. But the knife parry system, oh my gosh, so good. Which makes me think that encounter with Krauser is going to be even more intense than some simple QTE. It almost seems like we're going to have to really upgrade our knife a good bit to really go against him. I feel like that's going to be a stipulation. We're going to get like notifications when we die by Krauser during the knife fight, be sure to upgrade your knife at when you can. So I absolutely feel like we're even going to have a merchant right before Krauser. So we're going to have to upgrade our knife, which is cool because I like that way the new parry system works. I think the interaction with Krauser is going to be even more electrifying. And honestly, I want more out of Krauser. I want the reveal, because we only know this through like notes and stuff that he actually captured Ashley. Oh well, he actually says it in the game that to gain Sadler's trust, he captured Ashley for him, but that was only to get in his good graces for Wesker and his organization. So honestly, truthfully, I really want Krauser to have more of an impact when he reveals to Leon to prove to him that he's better than him in every single way. That yes, I was the one who captured Ashley. It was me, and let that reveal really gut punch this newly redone awesome Leon. Let Leon take that so massively to the chest, that hit to the chest, that he has to do everything in his power to finish off Krauser. And I feel like those encounters with Krauser is going to be a lot more electrifying due to the parry system and how Leon is as a character and the way Nick is carrying him. So I hope the new voice for Krauser is just as gruff and amazing as he was originally. I want Krauser to really when he reveals to Leon, it was I, Leon. It was all me. I'm the one who captured Ashley. But even more so than that, I want there to be like hints leading up to Krauser that he's actually there, and Leon's trying to piece it together. Okay, who's helping these Ganados with this military training? Who's this person that is constantly trying to stop me at every which way to save Ashley, to get out of here? And then when right as before he gets to Krauser, he maybe makes the realization that these Ganados and the way they act and the way things are going, he remembers something of an old partner, an old colleague. So I'd very much like Krauser to be more into the story than he was originally, except towards the last half of the game. I'd like his impact to feel, reverberate throughout the entirety of the game. And I think a lot of people can agree if like we see hints that Krauser's around from the beginning, maybe after the first village segment, that he's just egging Leon on, but Leon doesn't know who it is. I'd like that. I think we can all agree more Krauser isn't a bad thing. A more fleshed out Krauser would be an awesome thing. But that's it's kind of the end of what we're going to be talking about with Krauser, and we move on to the next one. The man behind it all, the man with the glasses and the superhuman strength, Mr. Alberto Wesker.
They're good, obedient boys and girls.
Unfortunately, time is not a luxury we have. Gather as much information as you can about the parasites and finish off this little tour.
Wesker. Albert Wesker is one of the very few characters we've not seen in the new Reach for the Moon engine yet. I think a grown-up Sherry, Barry, and Rebecca are the only ones I can think of besides Wesker that we've not seen in the new engine yet. So this will be our first time seeing a newly redone Wesker in the new engine. And one of the big things they just need to definitely do is disconnect Wesker from DC Douglas. He is quite terrible and awful and has done very, very bad things. Very much a sexual deviant and predator. So big thing is to just disconnect DC from him as a character. And I'm fairly certain, much like they've given us new voice actors for all the characters, they'll have a new voice actor for Wesker. So I guess that's the only plus thing. But the big thing I want to see out of Wesker is I want to see more of him in the remake. This is Capcom's chance to show off the new look for Wesker, but also have him seen more in the story. Honestly, if there's one thing I want out of Wesker in Remake 4, is for him to have some sort of interaction with Sadler. I think that'd be great. Obviously Wesker is going to be the far superior being just because of what the strength he has bonding with the virus that he did. Is it G virus or T virus? I can't remember what bonded with him on a cellular level that gave him his super strength, his super speed. And if you play RE0, he's got laser eyes. So it'd be very nice that he would have some sort of interaction with Sadler in the remake, and I think a lot of people can agree that seeing more of Wesker in the new engine would be pretty awesome. So yeah, I'd be very much all for Wesker and Sadler having some sort of interaction, you know, some sort of cat and mouse game, but it turns out Wesker is the cat and Sadler is the mouse. You know, two obviously egotistical maniacs going against one another while Leon's just trying to find Ashley would be a very interesting way of reintroducing Wesker. You know, he's the mastermind. He wants a sample of the plaga for his deeds for Ouroboros. So, you know, I'd be very much all for seeing an interaction between those two. Not just, you know, seeing him in separate ways, but also in the main game. Because he's only seen, I think, like 2 or 3 times in separate ways. So, and of course, Mercenaries. So we'll definitely get to see him in his Mercenaries look. But yeah, definitely see more of Wesker in the main game. I don't 100% be all for seeing him throughout the game and having some sort of interaction with Leon, because he knows Leon obviously because of Raccoon City. I'm sure he has all the information what went on during Raccoon City, as well as Leon being part of the government, because I'm sure Wesker has people in the government working for him. So it'd be a nice little interaction between these two, since Wesker wants to kill everyone that has had any sort of connection to Raccoon City. But yeah, that's just kind of how I feel about good old Albert Wesker. I want to see more of him. I don't want them to have any connection to DC Douglas. You know, I want to really have a lot of fun with Wesker in this remake. See more of him. Not necessarily a bad thing, but that's generally what I want to see on Wesker. I'd be interested to hear what you guys... Do you want to see more Wesker? Do you want to just have him the way he is in separate ways? Let me know down below, and we'll hop over to the next one. The man behind it all, the cult leader himself, Osmond Sadler.
Think you know, the American prevailing is a cliche that only happens in your Hollywood movies. Oh, Mr. Kennedy, you entertain me. To show my appreciation, I will help you awaken from your world of cliches.
And where would any cult be without its leader? What's the best way to describe? You know, fanatical. I wouldn't say charming. He honestly, if you just listen to how Sadler sounds in the remake, I think he sounds pretty good.
The lost lambs are escaping. You will receive our most sacred body.
Yeah, I gotta say, Sadler sounds pretty good. Those are just 2 instances where we hear him. So, y'all honestly want to see more of Sadler as the real big bad cult leader, you know? Sorry, it's morning. I'm trying to wake up. Sadler is a character that, you know, he's there in the last half. We see a lot of him. So honestly, if there's one thing I want out of Sadler is to see more of him as this big bad, you know, spooky cult leader. You know, he helped bring Los Illuminados back to the fray, and even after his death many years later, they're still going strong. So yeah, 100%. I really want them to lay into this cult-like fanaticism of him. I want to see more of him being just plain old awful. You know, Sadler is one of those characters that I think he does this part well, more so than the Big Cheese, more so than Salazar. No, he's the last. He's our last step into leaving this hellish nightmare. We have to beat him. We have to finish him off, or we can't leave. So, really lay into the fact that he's part of this cult. That he's, you know, created this ideology that is a death cult. You know, I really want them to lay into how vile and evil Salazar is, but I really want for Sadler to really lay into the fact that he's ruling over Los Illuminados. He manipulated Salazar. You know, really showcase what kind of fanatical leader he is, that he wants to see his plan to the very end. And we obviously know how it ends, but you know, I'd like to see more of him too. I mean, I think we see enough of him in their original, but definitely see more of him. Showcase his power, what he's capable of. We sort of see that in separate ways when Ada fights him. So yeah, honestly, seeing more of Sadler wouldn't be a bad thing. Seeing how he interacts with Leon and everyone, which it almost seems like we're going to see more of him. in the remake than we did originally, so that's not necessarily a bad thing. But yeah, I think Sadler's an alright character. Like compared to like the Big Cheese, we see enough of him, and I feel like he plays his part well. I think really Salazar is honestly the strongest of the three big bosses, honestly. But yeah, I absolutely would love to see more of Sadler in the remake. I want to really them showcase just he's leader of this cult. He's the big baddie. He's the final boss. His word is gospel. Definitely really lay into that. But I'd be interested to hear what you guys think on Sadler. Do you think we see enough of him? Do you think there needs to be more of him in the remake? Let me know down below, and we'll hop into the next one, the next little segment, which is talking about the brick and mortar of the series, the Ganados.
Tenemos que irnos.
So I think my biggest concern for the Ganados before seeing this footage you're seeing is that they're not going to really have anything unique or different about them. But man, oh man, was I shocked and surprised. The Ganados feel like there's something more to them. Susie the Spear Hunter noticed that part of the gameplay reveal that we showed, she noticed that after Leon breaks free from one of the Ganados, you can almost see them talking in their native tongue, trying to figure out their best way to approach him. So right then and there, it almost seems like we're going to have to think on the fly because the Ganados themselves are thinking on the fly, which I think is awesome. Honestly, the Ganados that think and react to your movements is a lot better than what we got in the original. So yeah, 100% for this redesign of the Ganados. It almost seems like the adaptive difficulty is going to be even more intense. So 100% all for the redesign of the Ganados. They look fantastic. They almost seem like they're going to play completely different. Even freaking Dr. Salvador looks like he's going to be very unique. So yeah, man. I'm very excited for the Ganados and what they're going to be doing in the remake. It almost seems like they have this unique set about them that they are all going to behave very differently than they did originally. It almost seems like we're going to have to be smart on how we approach a Ganado. And of course, with the implementation of stealth kills, we might actually be able to go through entire areas without alerting any of them. So yeah, it's kind of exciting and awesome. I'm 100% all for it. I definitely, since they're the main bulk of what we face, whether it's cultists, whether it's villagers, whether it's going to be military Ganados, which we don't really know if that's going to be what we're going to be facing in the end. It could be something completely different, which again I'm all for because I don't want to see no JJ the jet planes and chain guns. Just saying. But yeah, it almost seems like they're going to be very different from their original, and that's something I've been preaching about for a while. Is they need to be different because they need to feel like a threat, and they do feel like a threat. The fact that a Ganado can just straight up deck you in the face is very different from what we got originally. Most of the time they could only attack you, swing at you with weapons, but now they're going to just be able to throw hands. I'm all for it, man. Let them throw hands. Let me do a roundhouse kick and a suplex. Let me beat their ass. You know what I'm saying? I think we're all excited for this game. I think the villains, the antagonists, whether it's the Verdugos, whether it's the Nosfators, whether it's you two or the Regenerators or the Dr. Salvadors. Honestly, I'd be all for seeing some Super Salvadors in the main game. But, to each his own, guys. I'm very excited for how these Ganados react to how we're playing against them. But I honestly want to hear what you guys think. Are you excited to see the other Ganados? Are you excited to see were you excited when you saw how these villagers reacted to Leon and how they react to how you're playing against them? Let me know down below, and we're going to finish up this video. So we've kind of talked about the bulk of the antagonists, whether it's the Big Cheese, whether it's Salazar, whether it's Krauser, whether it's Wesker, whether it's Sadler, whether it's the Ganados. We talked about a lot, and honestly, I cannot wait to see what else in the store this remake has. I can't wait to see the other. Obviously, they're going to do other showcases to showcase the castle and whatever is replacing the island if you look at the collector's edition map. So I honestly want to hear what you guys think about today's video. What are you excited most about the antagonist? What are you looking forward to the most about them? Are you excited for the changes they've seen in the beginning? Do you like their redesigns? Like, what are you excited most about this remake and the villains that we're going to be facing? Let me know down below. Let me hear your thoughts. And of course, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like. Subscribe if you're feeling generous. And I think that's where we're going to end the video. As always, Internet, I love you all. I'll see you all in the next one. Take it easy.